So the first tip, and this is a very basic one, is that you don't have any classes in Throne and Liberty. Your skills, your abilities are based on the weapons that you equip. So let's have a look at the skills that I have here. These are the potential skills that I have because I'm using a sword and a great sword. Here are the skills I can choose from. Here are the passive skills I can choose from. And down the bottom here are the skills I actually have equipped, and the passive skills I have equipped. So what happens if I change my weapons? My skills will also change. So I've got rid of my sword and my sword and shield, and now I have a longbow, and I've got a load of longbow skills to choose from, and a staff, so I have a lot of magic skills to choose from. So that's how you determine your character class, basically. It's the nearest thing there is to a class in this game. It's determined by the weapons that you have. Now, that's very basic, but there's a trick I'll show you that some people perhaps won't know, even if they've been playing this game a lot, which is, let me make sure I've got the correct weapons. Yes, there we go. Which is that you can change your specs very easily too. So, as you'll see, I have a series of skills to choose from, but only some of them can actually be equipped, and the same with the passives. I've got my passives that I can choose up here, but only some of them can be equipped at any one moment. Also, you can specialise in certain skills, so you can modify the skills. So this is called Annihilation Blade, but actually the skill is called a Shot at Victory, and you can use specialisation points to change the way that Shot at Victory works, and actually in this case it turns it into a slightly different new skill. But you're not stuck with one set of specializations. As you can see there, it's very easy to make changes manually anytime you like. You don't need to sort of spend any gold or anything like that. But you can change things on the fly. So this is my AoE setup, and I also have a dungeon setup, which is a PvE sort of single target, staying alive, holding aggro type setup. AoE is generally used for outdoors stuff, because if you're doing quests outdoors, AoE is always the best, well, nearly always the best way if you can do it. If you have an AoE setup, the fastest, the most efficient way of effectively getting experience outdoors, of doing quests outdoors, is AoE. So I've got an AoE setup, a dungeon setup, and a PvP setup, and as you can see, not only do the skills of my hotbar change when I change my setups, but also the specialization. So for PvP, I've got points in Chain Hook, which for Sword and Shield is a nice PvP skill, but for PvE it's slightly less important, but I do have points in other skills which I use for PvE in dungeons and AoEs. So you can even set a hotbar. So you look at the skills down the bottom here, the skills that I have on my hotbar ready to use. This is the this is the AoE setup. As you can see, one of them is a nice, look at that. So it's pretty obvious, I guess, how that can be used for AoEing down mobs in PvE. But if I want to change my dungeon setup, I have a hotkey for that. And if I want to change my PvP setup, I have a hotkey for that. So you can change your skills, and obviously you can set your hotkeys here in settings. It's somewhere here anyway. You can find it in shortcuts, I think. This is where you set your hotkeys. There we go. You have to do that manually, but once you've done that, it's really easy to change between different specs. You can use dummies to practice on your skills. Obviously you can go out into the wild and just look for enemies to fight, but sometimes these dummies are quite useful, and you can find dummies, there may be others too, I'm not sure, but you can definitely find them in Castleton, which is the newbie area, the newbie town, the first sort of town or city that you're going to visit. So look for the arena up here, purple symbol, easy to find, and here are some dummies, and you can test out your skills on them. And also in this area here, you can go in here and it's a PvP area. People can fight you in here. You can also do some PvP dueling practice in your guild hall. However, do be aware that PvP in Throne of Liberty is a bit zergy, so if you're in an arena like this, this is where you can practice sort of one-on-one PvP, or I suppose you could get a large group of people in here and try to practice your more zergy, groupy PvP, but generally speaking you're going to find it's for sort of one-on-one dueling, which actually is not particularly useful because you're probably not going to do very much of that in Throne of Liberty. It's more sort of mass guild v guild PvP. But anyway, if you want to do it, if you want to duel, find your Arena Guardian statue, go inside, and you can do some dueling. Now, this game will throw items at you. It gives you items a lot, and you need to sometimes check if the game has any items it wants to give you, because it won't always be immediately obvious. If you look at my inventory, I've got so much stuff in here. I think you can expand inventory space if you... There we go. Well, that's a little tip that I didn't even know about. You can expand your inventory that way, which is very much worth doing because you will so easily run out of room in your inventory. Anyway, the game likes to give you stuff. So if there's a red dot up here, that means that maybe the game has some items for you. No, rectify missed days, yes. So here are some items the game wants to give me. Look for red dots. Red dots mean that there's probably an item for you. Oh, is there more? Does it want to give me more now? Oh yes, there's this here. If you press F10, sometimes you'll see that there are things waiting for you. So the battle pass here. Okay, there are no... okay, this might give me something perhaps. Yep. So, claim all rewards, here we go. There are some items. Yep. So, look for the red dots, press F10, look for red dots, and that probably means that there's something nice waiting for you. Upgrade your skills on a regular basis. Throughout the game, you will obtain these skill books. Active skill books for your active abilities, these are the ones on your hotbar, and passive skill books for your passive abilities, which are the passive abilities, as the name suggests. So if I look here at my skills, I can see that some of them have these nice upwards arrows, and this means that I can upgrade them because I have the skill books. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that I've got enough skill books to upgrade them to the next level, but it means I can make a start. So I've got some blue skill books. I can upgrade this passive skill. Here we go. I only have 2, so this one is at 2. It's at rare level 2, plus it's 64% of the way to level 3. I've got 2 skill books. They may get it all the way to level 3. No, oh no, not quite. But it's made a difference. It's sort of got me a little bit further. One more go, let's try this. Oh, so this is rare level 1, it's 90% of the way to level 2, so we're going to see this go up to level 2. There we go, and that skill is now more powerful when I use it, which is nice. Upgrade your skills when you get the chance. Now here's the skills researcher. The skills researcher is always worth checking out, because you can make abilities to improve your skills. So rare active, this is a blue skill book, and it tells you what you need here. Now sometimes you'll be thinking, well, how do I get this material? Where does this material come from? If there's ever anything in the game and you're wondering where the hell do I get that, you can click on it and then you press the this thing here, how to acquire. And it basically tells you where it comes from. It may not tell you everything about the material, but it will tell you how to get the material. It will give you some idea how to get the material. And in this case, you can apparently get this stuff by killing these worker ants in this dungeon. And look, it even tells you where the dungeon is. It is a dungeon. It's not something that you will necessarily be easily able to do solo, but if you're, well equipped and you're on the right level, you might very well be able to do this solo. Anyway, I am going to make some of these blue skill books. I can only make 2 at the moment. So check out the skills researcher, he's always worth checking out. And in a similar vein, upgrade your equipment whenever you're able to. Well, you don't have to do it every single time you get a gravestone, but on a regular basis. So you upgrade your equipment with these gravestones. You can probably guess green is the... Actually, I think there's the very lowest level is just white, but you're not going to be bothered about that. You're going to start getting green items of equipment very quickly. Anyway, green is basically the lowest level, followed by blue, followed by purple. So let's try upgrading. Let's see if I have any green equipment. So here we go. Equipment enchanting, level up. No, I don't, but I think I can probably upgrade this. Yes, this is level 0, so this is new. I've got some purple, because it's a purple item, it needs purple gravestones. Because it's an accessory, as opposed to armor or a weapon, it needs an accessory gravestone. So, a blue weapon needs a blue weapon gravestone. This is a purple accessory, so it needs a purple accessory gravestone. So let's level it up. There we go, and this is now more powerful than it was. That's great, and every time you level it up, the stats will increase slightly. So let's learn about traits. Traits are, they might seem a little bit complicated at first, but they're not really, and knowing about traits is quite important. So let's look at this weapon crafter. I'm going to make some green weapons here, even though I'm not going to use them. This is just for illustration purposes. So I can make one of these bows here, and let's look at this bow. This has all the stuff you'd expect to see: damage, attack speed, range. But below that it tells you that this bow has special abilities. It has 1 point to perception, it will give you 1 point to perception, and 52.5 points to mana regeneration. The stuff in red is the stuff that I have currently equipped on my current weapon, which I would lose, but that's to help you compare weapons, but you don't need to pay any attention to that right now. This bow has perception 1, mana regen 52.5. This bow, if I want to make this, doesn't have that stuff, but it has health regen 90. This bow here has a bonus to critical hit and a bonus to the chance of binding, basically rooting in place an opponent, and so on. So different weapons have sort of different special abilities. So let's look at this one, health regen 90. If you look below health regen 90, there are 2 traits, and it says trait locked. Well, actually, if you make this bow, you'll get a trait. You'll get a trait randomly. So let's make it and see what we get. We can't control what the trait's going to be. Just going to do this. Here we go. Which one were we going to make? Yeah, health regen 90. And we're going to make this bow, and it will have a trait which we get at random. So let's see what we've got. So the trait on this bow is health regen 15. So that's in addition to health regen 90. Okay, so maybe that's what we wanted. Maybe we're a bit disappointed by that. Who knows? But that's what we've got. So there's a second trait there, which is locked. How do we add the second trait to the bow? Well, there is more than one way of doing it, but the easiest way, certainly for a new player starting out, and you can do this as a newbie when you're using green weapons, this is worth doing. Can't do you any harm because you will get enough materials to make more than 2 green weapons. Just remind myself what type of bow, field soldiers, horn bow. if you make a second field soldier's hornbow, and it does need to be the same type of bow, it can't just be a second longbow, it needs to be exactly the same type of bow. We're going to make this. And this one, the trait is, oh, max health. Okay, so we've got two bows which are the same type of bow. They've got different traits, and we can now transfer the traits to the same bow. So it doesn't really matter which one we start with. I'm going to start with this one, Pure Sword Bow. We transfer this trait to it. It seems to have chosen it automatically. So now what do we have? We have one bow. Here it is, with both traits. This one bow now has max regen 15 as a trait, in addition to the standard ability of the bow, which as we know is health regen 90. It now has health regen 15 in addition, plus it has max health 150. We've got both traits on this one bow, and this can actually be quite powerful, and you can do it with your newbie equipment, the stuff you saw me make the weapons there. You will be able to make weapons at quite an early stage in the game, and by the way, you kind of have to do a bit of this even if you're somebody who doesn't normally do crafting in an MMO. In Throne and Liberty you probably have to take a bit of an interest in crafting. You'll be able to make your own weapons at quite an early stage in the game. You'll be able to add traits to the weapons because you just make two weapons of the same kind and add the traits. You can get unlucky with a trait. You can make a weapon and it has a trait which is completely useless to you, in which case, tough luck. That's bad luck. Maybe you'll get a chance to make another weapon in the future which will have a trait that you do want. But it is actually quite a useful thing to do to help you level up. And then as you reach the end game, getting the correct traits on your weapons can become a little bit more complicated. But it is quite an important thing to do in terms of the end game. If you die, you can regain some lost experience by talking to one of these statues. Won't let me do it right now because I haven't died recently, but be aware of these statues. If you die, go to a statue and get back your lost XP, and you find them on the map because they look like a cross. Be aware of the different types of quests in this game. You'll see them on your map in different colours, so for some reason I'm not seeing them all at the moment. So let's just go through them very quickly. Basically, this purple colour, those are the main quests. That's a big story quest. You need to do that. That's compulsory, more or less. You also have these sort of light purple quests, would you call them? I'm not sure what colour you want to call that, but whatever it is, these are quests that sort of teach you about elements of the game, introduce new features of the game to you. Generally speaking, I mean, they do a variety of different things, but that's basically what they do usually. They tell you about new features, so you definitely want to do those. Those are really good. Blue quests, these are local quests. These you can ignore, but you will sometimes get useful items for doing them. And if you haven't done your blue quests, this can vary. I don't think we quite know for sure how this is going to work in the Western version of the game, because it has changed on occasion in Korea the way this stuff works. But you might find if you haven't done your blue quests that you don't quite have enough experience to finish leveling your character. Sometimes the purple quests, the main story quests, are level gated. You have to reach a certain level before you can do the next stage of your purple quest, which is essential to do basically. So I always do the blue quests. I find that it helps to do them. And then the yellow quests, these are contracts. which you choose to do. Let's jump down here. You can get contracts from a contract manager, and with a contract manager you can see what contracts are available. Let's refresh this, and if there's something that you need, an item that you need, sometimes a contract manager can be a good way of getting the item. So guilds are very important in the game. Obviously you're going to join a guild, and so let's learn a little bit about them. You open up the guild window by pressing the G button, unless it changes in the Western release, but I doubt it will. One thing to note, I can't make any donations at the moment, but you can make donations to the guild you are a member of, and that will benefit you and every other member of the guild. So don't be shy about making donations. It actually tells you here what you get for making donations. You get some guild currency, the guild earns reputation, and activity points. Not entirely sure what all of those are used for, but currency is definitely useful. Now, if you look in the menu here in the guild page, obviously you can see the members of the guild. You can see rewards. Rewards will appear here when guild members do, either the guild as a whole does something, or sometimes when individual members do something. Worth looking at this if you have a good active guild, which I don't really have because I'm just playing very casually in career right now. Then rewards will appear here probably on a regular basis. Guilds get certain special benefits for their members, which is fantastic, and the guild leadership can set up guild contracts, which are sort of quests which every person in the guild can take part in. Often they're quite high level, so you might need to be fairly high level to do these, but you know, not necessarily. Yes, so mobs that you need to kill to achieve guild contracts, guild quests, have a green symbol over them to tell you that they are guild quest monsters that you need to kill for your guild quest. So one thing to be aware of when you're in a guild is you have a guild hall, and the way to get to your guild hall is to go to the Enter Village, which you will discover once you're sort of level 20 something. The quest will send you here, and here's your guild hall. You go inside, and there are various things you can do inside, including spending your guild coins. So when you donate to the guild, and when other people donate to the guild, people will get guild members get guild coins, and this is a nice thing. You go to the guild merchant, and he sells you. So I've got 369 guild coins. I can afford to buy stuff here. A rare random weapon that might be useful. Actually, it's not random. You can actually choose the one you want. That might be useful. These potions are fairly high quality potions, which are worth having. Various, all sorts of interesting items you can buy. The guild tool also includes, this is quite useful for cooking. Oh, there we go. I can make some of these, apparently. I don't think I will right now, but I could do. So you can do a bit of crafting in here. You've got storage here. It's your bank, basically. This is for starting raids. Something for the guild leaders to be aware of, probably more than the average member, although the average member will probably be taking part in raids. And of course this shows you the rewards that you can get. And here is the PvP area in the guild hall. So you can do a bit of dueling. There's also dueling areas outside in the open world, but obviously here nobody can get in here apart from your guild members. So you might prefer to do your dueling in this area here. Check your timetable every so often. You find your timetable. I think there are two ways of doing it actually. The first one is by pressing M to open up your map. and you've got various tabs on the map. You want the fourth and final tab, the timetable. There are two main types of events. One is sort of quest events where you have to gather items. Generally speaking, you kill mobs, you gather items. These can be either in peacetime or in conflict time. And then the second time of event is bosses. World bosses, here they are in red, and you basically large numbers of people gather in the same place and try to kill a boss. You can see where it's going to be. That tells you where it's going to be. You just click on the icon that tells you where it's going to be when the time comes. You can see the rewards that are possible, but you're probably not going to get them. Only the players with the highest score in terms of doing the most damage or whatever will get rewards. Will get these rewards, but then there are also rewards that everybody gets. So it's worth taking part just to get these conquest rewards that everybody can get. And sometimes your guild might get something, I think. And as you can see, some of these events are in peace, that means PvE. Some of them are in conflict, that means PvP, and that's when guilds will arrive in a big zerg, and the guilds will try to kill the other guilds, as well as killing the boss. So, two main types of events. You've got bosses, and then you've got the these things that are just called events, I think, which are basically sort of like open world quests. And then the third type of event that you'll see is the arrival of this big giant Gigantrite, the giant flying whale, which will appear here where I am at Starlight Observatory Ruins. So I said there is more than one way of seeing a timetable. The other one is by clicking this here, schedule, and this will show you the forthcoming events. That's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've made it all the way to the end, my name is Palmer. Do like and subscribe, and even more importantly, if you have any other suggestions, things that I've missed out, things that you think you can explain better than the way I've explained them, do leave a comment and tell people what they need to know about playing Throne and Liberty. Thank you very much.